It is late. Your phone buzzes. You open a group chat to find a story moving at absolute platform speed. Typing bubbles flicker on and off, messages stacking before the last one has finished landing. By the time you start reading, the story already has a villain, a moral, and a side you are obviously supposed to be on. You read through the fragments and type 4 simple words. I'm not sure yet. The typing indicators stop. There is a pause, just long enough for you to notice. The temperature in the chat shifts. Within minutes, your status drops from quiet participant to something highly suspicious. You aren't defending anyone, you are simply still thinking. But in this environment, not being outraged fast enough becomes data. Psychologists call this epistemic exclusion. When a group reaches a rapid moral consensus, arriving late with a question doesn't register as curiosity. Your hesitation gets reclassified as a position, a sign that you might be taking the enemy's side. We often assume people jump to these conclusions because they are stupid. The harder truth is that smart people are equally susceptible under pressure, especially when the desire for a definite answer overrides the tolerance for ambiguity. The environment has made the pause indistinguishable from a conclusion. Slow thinking has become socially illegible. The act of processing itself is now seen as resistance. To understand why a room turns on you for waiting, we have to look underneath the social interaction and examine the mechanical layer of human logic. Your brain runs different logic thresholds depending on the environment. The first is an AND gate. It is built for precision. To reach a conclusion, it requires multiple, independent pieces of evidence, mechanism, context, and intent to all light up at the same time. Under pressure, the brain switches to an OR gate. This is an ancient survival mechanism designed to prioritize speed. It doesn't wait for converging evidence. A single isolated signal trips the wire, and the gate fires immediately. The OR gate drives massive inference jumps. You see an observation, and you immediately stabilize around a moral conclusion, skipping the messy middle where facts are actually verified. Jumping to conclusions isn't a failure of reasoning. It's an ancient prediction engine doing exactly what it was built to do. It just happens to be misfiring in an abstract social space. Before either the AND or the OR gate can run, your brain filters incoming information through an upstream scanner. Think of it as the threat gate. This gate runs a rapid pattern match, checking if the new information carries any risk to your identity, your status, or your tribal belonging. If the scanner detects social risk, it slams the AND gate shut and forces the OR gate to fire. In that moment, social alignment becomes more important than truth. Once the OR gate locks on to an answer, your brain's internal PR manager steps in. Its job is to retroactively invent a narrative to justify the snap judgment you just made. Once identity enters the frame, your reasoning completely changes its objective. You stop trying to find out what is true and start trying to protect the position you just took. If you remove that social pressure entirely, you get the perfect control case to prove this machinery exists: humor. The structure of a joke is identical to an OR gate inference jump, a massive leap from observation straight to a conclusion that completely skips evidence and logic. We laugh instead of panicking because the threat gate registers zero risk to our belonging. Nobody gets exiled for a punchline that doesn't make logical sense. Humans actually love uncertainty and logic leaps, but only when the cost of being wrong doesn't threaten our social survival. The same machinery running inside one mind also runs between minds. We built historical institutions as externalized delay technologies, deliberate structures designed to protect us from our own OR gate panics. The courtroom is an externalized AND gate. It mandates delay and forces the convergence of evidence, specifically to prevent the rush to premature certainty. High-stakes, irreversible decisions require dual verifications. A nuclear launch control panel requires multiple independent keys turned simultaneously, so no panicked person initiates the outcome alone. Compare that to the modern digital feed. It operates like a fire alarm. One person, one signal, one suspicion. The building empties in 90 seconds. Digital platforms algorithmically reward the speed of the fire alarm and bury deliberate thought. In these spaces, the pause is not just unfashionable, it is structurally disadvantaged. The core tragedy of our current moment is that we are treating nuclear-level social complexities with the frantic, irreversible speed of a fire alarm. We have seen these unregulated or-gate environments before. During the McCarthy era, visual association was used as absolute proof of guilt. Senator McCarthy would hold up a photograph, and the accusation would travel faster than the verification could catch it. The or-gate isn't inherently evil. It saves lives in a burning building. But treating every social interaction like an emergency destroys the very trust that holds a culture together. Modern intellectual mastery is the ability to feel your own threat gate warming up and consciously choosing to slow down. True courage is reclaiming the space between a signal and a story. It is the decision to hold your and gate open even when the environment demands you close it.